Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome again to Hidden Tracks. Today I have Chris Newhard and Stephen Morrell from the awesome band Sleep Cycles, and I will leave it up to them. Welcome, guys. How you doing? I'm not going to genre label you. I'm going to let you do that yourself. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having us.
How's it going?
It's going well over here. I got my peppermint tea and honey to fucking kick back this raspy voice I'm working with, so doing good.
We just poured some coffee over here because we're falling asleep. So this is perfect.
Nice. Awesome. Already putting you to sleep 30 seconds into the episode. Awesome.
Yeah.
Step it up, man. Let's go.
All right. So I just put it out there for you guys. With all the sub genre shit that's going on these days, and it's so hard to label music, but you have to kind of fall in somewhere for someone to kind of figure it out. Where would you say, and it might be different for both of you, so where would you say you fall in under genre labels?
Oh, I mean, I don't want to speak for Chris, but in my mind, I would say it's like a post-emo, like alternative rock, crabcore mix, totally
crabcore.
Kidding. Totally kidding.
Crabcore.
No, I think pretty simply put, we're alternative punk. We might be on the pop punk side of things with a few songs here and there, but overall, I think we're in that alternative rock.
Yeah, I think that the thing for me is like, this is the perfect question to kind of prove whether or not is someone's like hip on the lingo. And I immediately always prove myself not very hip on the lingo, because in my mind, I'm still saying like, oh, we're kind of like alternative rock meets like emo and punk. And then whenever I say that to people, they're always like, alternative rock, like what, like Third Eye Blind? And you're like, yeah, I don't know, not really, but I mean, that's the genre. To name a specific band in that genre is a little risky, but I would say that all of us kind of stem from like, there's probably everyone in the band has a very dark side musically inside of them and a very light poppy side, and we meet in the middle with our songs exactly because all of us have played in fun, jumpy, super melodic pop bands, and all of us have also played in like super, super heavy bands, like aggressive, hardcore metal stuff. So I think that Sleep Cycles is like, the amalgamation of like meeting in the middle and finding a perfect way to sort of play songs that make you feel heavy things but also make you feel uplifted.
Listen, that's a great way to describe it. And it is risky to put your name with another name of a genre and try to say, yeah, no, it's kind of like that, but it's nowhere near anything like that. But sure.
Yeah.
Now, let's, you guys want to tell your story of how Sleep Cycles came about? Because I know you were all in different bands, and it's just kind of, for me as a listener and who's been into the other bands you've been a part of, for me, I kind of put it as a super group. So,
Yeah. It's funny. I've heard that a couple times now. I would not classify it that way, but from the outside,
it's funny.
It's probably very apparently that way, because if I knew multiple bands and all their members got together and made a band, I would say the exact same thing. So it's funny because I always sort of forget that it can be sort of categorized that way. But for me, Sleep Cycle started, I would say in 2019. Chris Poulsen, our bassist, him and I played in a group called Promise of Redemption, which is like the sort of the alternative rock side project of Shane Henderson from the band Valencia. And that's where I met Chris. And we just kind of hit it off. I think we started playing like 2015, 2016 together. And we just like really hit it off and had a great time. And, over the years, different members kind of come and go because it's a side project. So there's no permanent members in Promise of Redemption. So everybody's just like, are you available for a show? And if you're not, somebody else is doing it. So we all kind of like, went in and out. And finally, Chris and I sort of just connected on text after like a little bit of time of not playing together. And we just were like, hey, like we really miss playing together. It'd be fun just to like get together and jam something. I didn't in my head have like we should start a band thing, but I just wanted to play music again. And that was sort of the group that like our musical outlet manifested in. And then once we got together, I didn't really have like too many songs. I had just like 30-second snippet riffs. And I was like, do any of these sound cool? And I showed him probably like 15 of them, and like only one of them he was into. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is not good.
There's a straight kick to the nuts to start out a band.
Yeah, I like was singing a couple of them. I like had like some lyrics down, and I was like, oh, it'd be like this. And I sang, and I finished, and he was like, I don't want to play songs that sound like that. And I was like, fuck.
Man, he took a big risk.
Yeah.
Huh?
And I was like, okay, I gotta come up with some better things. So I went back and I wrote a couple more songs and I showed them to him. And again, these were just instrumental. There was no lyrics to most of this at this point. And he was like, okay, I could get behind some of these. These are cool. And he was like, but the hard thing is we're really going to need to find like a great guitar player because I play guitar, but I wanted to like front a band and like sing. So I knew that I couldn't like carry that weight. And I had met Stephen doing music videos for his old band, An Honest Year, a long time ago. So I hit you up if you want to take over there.
Yeah, I was a few years out of just the music scene entirely at that point. Like Chris mentioned, we met from my previous band, An Honest Year, and we called it quits in 2016. And I was pretty much like, I would not be surprised if I had just never played music again in like a formal setting with a band or on stage or anything like that. I pretty much accepted that I had kind of fulfilled that part of my life in a way. And I was really surprised to hear from Chris. He was like, hey, kind of starting a new project. Are you done with music completely? You remember he said something like that? Like,
yeah. Are you officially retired?
Are you officially retired?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
the reason I said that is because, and this is, I don't think I've ever said this in an interview to anybody, but like I had hung out with Steven at like a Halloween party, like a couple years before this. And after like not seeing you for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was like broke and like had nothing going for me. And I was like, I just bought an electric guitar. And you were like, oh, cool. If you want to jam, let me know. And in my head, I was like, no fucking way. That would be the coolest because Steven's incredible. And I like worked for his band. So that was like insane just to have that conversation. So that's what I thought of you when I texted you. I was like, well, if you want to jam, now's the time.
Yeah, take me up on that offer. I'm really glad you did. And yeah, I was immediately down. I hadn't heard anything that they were writing. I just knew like, yeah, I think I need to be playing music again. So yeah, we kind of started meeting up, trying to learn. I think we just had Come On and Say It at first.
Yeah. And we were playing acoustic.
Yeah, we're playing acoustic. Oh yeah, that's right. We met up at your house and just played through some of your ideas acoustically. And then eventually met up with Chris Poulsen and, started to like plug in and like make the real rock band sound come through.
Mm-hmm.
And we realized quickly that we needed a drummer. There's only so much you can do without any kind of rhythm Whoa.
Did Chris play you the 30-second snippets too? Did you have your opportunity to shit on him as well, or was that just for Poulsen to do?
No, unfortunately, I didn't get to hear a lot of those. Yeah, no, you gotta love Poulsen. He'll tell you exactly how he's feeling. But I think that's great because it makes us better. It makes our songs better.
Yeah.
But yeah, at that point we realized we needed a drummer, and
we auditioned a couple people.
We did, and
they did not work out.
Yeah, and so my first thought, once it was like, okay, yeah, let me try some of the drummers that I know. I went back to the drummer from An Honest Year. His name's Greg, and he's an amazing drummer. He's insanely talented, hits harder than any other drummer I've ever played with. And it just seemed like a perfect fit. And it was very obvious that it was a perfect fit from the first time we jammed. And it's just, it's been a beautiful relationship ever since.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even that first time we got together and played, Greg runs a music school. So he has like a whole like classrooms full of gear and PA systems and guitars and amps and everything. And, it was just like, it felt, we transferred from a living room to like a rehearsal space immediately, And I was like, wow. And the first time we started playing, he immediately was like, no, don't do that. You should do this. And then, no, we should be cool if we all did that. And so he immediately started like writing with us, which is what I wanted. I wanted a drummer that gave a shit about the songs and what they played and wanted to contribute, And so that was awesome. And it kind of just blossomed, and pretty soon all these songs just started coming out.
Well, I'm happy that it worked out that way because what's already released is fucking straight fire, guys. So
appreciate it.
It is in my wheelhouse. It is what catches me, grasps me, and like I run towards. As my wife says, she's like, you just have a sound. Like you hear a note and you're like, it's for you, and then that's it. And then you just all in. So I thank you guys for getting together and doing the hard work of figuring it out.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we have to do it at this point. It's like there's no other option. I think we've all come to terms with that fact.
Yeah, it's just like an amazing outlet.
Yeah.
Now, how you're putting together a band in 2019 before Devastation rocked the world. How did you, when you guys started to actually have an opportunity to collaborate, were you able to do that? Chris and Chris got together and someone shit on someone's artwork right away, but was there you guys coming together now to record songs and to release stuff? I mean, how has it been for that and up and coming shows that I see you got coming up? I mean, how is it for you guys recording and doing stuff like that when this all started during a time you've never experienced before?
Oh yeah, that's like the crazy part. So our whole thing with this band when we started it was because honestly, it's like we're all just workaholics, and we all were trying to like kid each other that we were just, let's just get together and do like a beer band. Like on Tuesday nights, we'll just split a 6-pack and do this for fun, and no one's ever going to hear us, and that's totally okay.
No stress,
and
just good times.
And it's been great, but it's like the moment we started playing the song, everyone looked at each other and we're like, "Fuck, I think these are good." And
hard to deny.
Thank you. And like we were like, okay, I mean, what if we just like recorded one of them, just to hear what it sounds like? And then we all were like, I don't know. I think that starts to like kind of take it seriously. It's just for fun. And then, a month or two later, we're like, let's just keep writing. Let's just keep writing. And eventually we all got to the point where we were like, we really need to like, we were meeting up, weekly, which was phenomenal. And I got to the point where we were like, we need to record these because I think these are pretty good. And I think like everyone started sort of taking the band a little bit more seriously. We didn't even have like a name for the band yet. We were just like jamming and writing songs and being like, play the fast one or play the one that starts ... And
Greg still knows the songs that way.
Yeah.
Not for the titles,
Yeah.
but just the got.
Yeah. And, and so we were kind of going through a list of producers that would record with us and try to figure it out. And Chris used to play with, Fred Mascherino, and he was in the Color Fred, and he was in Breaking Pangea with him for a little bit. And he just suggested, maybe Fred will record us, which was, I think Stephen and I looked at each other and got a little chubby going. And, we were like, what are you talking about? What do you mean he'll record us? What are you talking about? Is this real? And then, he immediately just looked at his phone and was like, yep, Fred's in. He just said he's good. And it was like, are you kidding me right now? So we went in January of 2020, and we started recording 3 songs. And as soon as we started recording, I got super, super, super sick. And I was coughing and I felt awful. And, what ended up coming out of that essentially was a bond with Fred. I mean, we were tracking and writing and everything was happening so well, but I just kept being sick. So I would only be able to track for an hour, and then I'd have to call it quits because my throat was hurting. Little did I know that I mean, there's no way of knowing if it was coronavirus or not, but a month later, the world shut down from coronavirus. So maybe
it seems likely,
and then as soon as we finished the last day of recording, I texted Fred 3 days later, and I was like, dude, I'm finally starting to feel better. This was March, and I was like, I'm finally starting to feel better. Thanks so much for recording these songs. And he was like, dude, I am so sick. And he was like, I don't know what's wrong. And no one had even heard of a coronavirus. So we just kept having to meet up over and over and over again, which ended up working out well because we developed a great bond, as opposed to going in and cranking it out in 10 hours with somebody. I was able to get many, many visits in and develop a good friendship. So that was really fun. And Fred brought a really amazing, aspect of recording because, it was our first time. It was our first time recording as a band. We didn't know what the hell we sounded like. Do we do heavy tones on the guitars? Do we do light tones? How much do I scream? How much do I sing pretty? All these things. And then Fred got out a million guitars and pedals and amps. And that's kind of where Stephen got a boner.
I geeked out. It was just, kid on Christmas morning. He just has so much amazing gear that has been through the ringer. He's recorded with that stuff, that exact gear on major label releases that everyone has heard, countless times on the radio. So for me, it was just amazing to kind of, have his expertise there and really learn from a true master of his craft as a guitar player and as a producer. I mean, I don't think we would sound half as good without everything that he provided to us.
Yeah.
So seriously, major shout out to Fred. He's the man.
Now, so that's in 2020.
Yep.
And here we are in 2021, and you started to release some music. And what transpired in that downtime? Was there a point where you're just like, this probably isn't going to be a thing? We recorded, we did what we had to do. The world sucks. Fuck it. Here we are. We got these songs.
Yeah. I mean, I think we would have had a full record done by now. Because we were on a schedule to do 3 songs every 3-4 months. And even with writing, once shit hit the fan, we went to every 3 weeks seeing each other, 3-4 weeks. It started to spread out because that was the moment in time where everyone was either on lockdown or that was when you would just start going back to work, and then boom, someone got exposed. Everyone's quarantined for 2 weeks, and then boom, you got exposed again. So it was just, we had to play it so safe, especially, people were teaching and working and all this stuff. And so in that downtime, that's when we were supposed to be writing. Our goal was by right now, we'd have a full record. and we only have an EP because, Fred stopped taking anyone coming in because his whole studio is like his entire garage is turned into a studio. So there's like people during a pandemic coming into his house. So he has to like space it out so that like it's not like back to back to back with people. So, out of respect for him and his family, like we had to be like spacing a lot of stuff out too with recording. So I think in that downtime we realized like our ambition exists, but our strategy needed to readjust and realign based on just real world circumstances, So what we did is we just went back in, we did 3 more songs. So those are the songs that are on our EP. And then we just kept practicing and writing, and we have like a whole slew of other songs that hopefully we'll get recorded really soon, so that by like this time next year, we have like a whole brand new record to release too.
Awesome. Gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Man.
So let me get a little personal here for both of you. I'll start with Steve. Do you remember a point in your life, usually as a child, when music became something to you? It's usually your first real musical memory that wasn't going to choir in school or something like that. When you heard real music for the first time, like I remember mine was the Beach Boys in the back of an Oldsmobile on the Garden State Parkway. Like I remember the moment where music changed in my life. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do actually like have a very vivid memory. I want to say 12 years old. I was in middle school. Like a lot of people, middle school was tough. It really sucked for me. I was just like a very awkward kid that just kind of didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. And I remember watching MTV after school, and the Feeling This video played from Blink-182.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I just remember this feeling of like just energy and like adrenaline like taking over that I just felt nothing like it before, and I immediately connected with it. I thought it was like speaking directly to me and just how I felt displaced in the world in a way. And yeah, ever since then I was like, that's what I want to do. I just want to do whatever it takes to maybe have the same impact to someone else that's like searching, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, Blink was like my introduction, and still a diehard fan. I mean, they definitely kickstarted the passion for music, I would say.
All right, Blink. How about you, Chris?
Mine's like it's funny. It's when I haven't been asked this question before. It's interesting. So I grew up in a very musical family. All my sisters and my mom played piano, and my sister was she was a vocal coach, and I grew up going to church, and we would like sing on the weekends, and so I was always really into like music, and like we listened to like a lot of Queen and Meatloaf and stuff growing up, and I loved like singing along to the records when I was like 4 and 5 years old. Nothing like a 5-year-old singing "Bat Out of Hell"
Yeah.
in a kitchen, but I loved it. I was obsessed with it, and but I didn't know what music was mine, and I think that's a big thing I want to call out, which is that like obviously there's the sphere of music that you can step into that sphere. But until you identify some like a music that's yours to create your own sphere off of, like that's kind of like the big changing point. So if like with you, you had Blink, you'd probably heard music before that.
Yeah,
but like
definitely.
When you heard that, something clicked inside, right?
Yep.
So for me, my moment of like something clicking was I was in the car. This was 2002. And I was sitting in the back of our Astro van, and my family drove my oldest sister up to Bucknell University from Pennsylvania. And so that's like almost a 4-hour drive, 3.5 hours, something like that. And I remember on the way there, I brought like a Discman, Remember them?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I brought Discman with me. So I had to been in 2002. Jesus, I had to been in like 7th grade, maybe 8th grade, something like that, maybe 7th grade. And I went to the mall when we stopped off on the mall to pick up like shit for her dorm. And I wandered into like, there used to be a store called The Wall, and it was a music store, kind of like Sam Goody or like FYE.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what to buy, and everyone was buying CDs to listen to like on their walk, like their Discmans on the way up. And I just grabbed a random CD, and it was Sticks and Stones.
Oh, no shit.
And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what Newfound Glory was or anything. I mean, like I had like my CDs were like I had a Wu-Tang CD, I had a Queen record, I had a Savage Garden record, and I think I had like Backstreet Boys. I just had whatever my sisters didn't want anymore, they gave to me. So none of it was my music. I didn't connect to a single thing I had. And I remember, I still to this day remember that song Understatement by NFG. And I put the fucking headphones on, and it goes da 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 da, and it kicks in, and I yelled out loud because I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And my whole family, I have this vivid memory of sitting in the backseat of this giant minivan. My whole family turning around, looking at me on the highway because I didn't know what I was in for. And I listened to that record. I just put on repeat the entire way there and the entire way back. I listened to it the entire time I was that whole weekend moving my sister in. And so like that kickstarted this, like, are there other bands like this? And then I just went down this massive deep dive, and all my friends and I were like burning CDs for each other. And we were like, oh, we have like a sampler. And then I found out about Warped Tour. And that was like this catalyst to kind of get like this whole world of like everything I had been missing that defined everything I felt suddenly within like half of a year just came into my life. And I felt like I was overtaken and changed completely by it.
Yeah, it's that sense of, that sense of discovery that is so hard to come by, that just it breeds, especially in music, breeds that community. So you find other people where you have the Warped Tour stuff, but when you find something that you're like, this is mine, this now belongs to me, there's nothing like that in the world. And I love finding stuff like that. I still do it all the time by spending hours on Bandcamp and finding stuff that I know people haven't heard or my friends haven't heard, and just being like, yo, check this out. This is amazing. You got to listen to this. Yep. Just constantly doing that. It's one of those feelings that I constantly look for. I want it all the time because it's such an awesome feeling.
Yeah. Especially like back then, because like nowadays we're so spoiled. So when the CD's over, it's not even CD anymore, whatever, the album's over.
Yeah.
You just you're like, I'm going to listen to this other artist now. But like when I was growing up, I just play it again.
Yeah.
That's all I had, Yeah.
Well, you spent $20 on a fucking CD. You had to. Like there was nothing else. That's what the money you had. So you're, as I say, you're pot committed to this one CD. So it's all you have to listen to.
Yeah. Dude, I remember that Feeling This video. I think it dropped on like New Year's Eve or something. It was like a special night when it came out, or like Christmas Eve.
It might have. I don't remember the premiere.
I remember that.
But dude, that video is insane.
When they played it, because they played it on the roof of a building. Like Blink played that song on the roof of a building, and then they played the video. I feel like it was like New Year's Eve or something.
It was probably New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So when you both find this music, now Steve, you said this is what, like you said, you want to do this. That made you have that feeling of wanting to do this. I mean, was that something, were you playing guitar prior to that, or was that like, I want to play guitar, I want to be in a band? Was that how that started with that? Did Blink start that, or were you already doing music lessons?
Yeah, so similar to Chris, I also grew up in a pretty musical family. My dad was an amazing guitar player and also a luthier. So he built guitars, he repaired them and all that stuff. So I was definitely exposed to music my whole life, and there were guitars all over the place. And my dad tried to get me to play since I was born, basically. And I just much like I think a lot of kids that are forced into piano lessons, they might not really care for it, or, I'm sure there are exceptions, but that's just been kind of my experience. But basically, I just wasn't really into it for whatever reason until that Blink video. And then I was like, okay, give me the guitar. Let's do this. Let's go. And, he showed me a couple things, and I ended up like taking legit lessons from a really amazing blues player in Sanford, Florida, which is where I'm from. And yeah, from there, it was like just this love affair. I couldn't put the thing down. It was, I come home from school, the homework is not getting done because I'm falling asleep with the guitar in my lap, like every single day. I was just completely obsessed. And yeah, from there, it was like, okay, I need to start writing. I need to start jamming with friends. And, then I kind of got into my first few bands and all that stuff. So, the rest is history.
Now, I'll ask you this before I move on to Chris. What was the name of the first band you were in, Steve?
Oh man, it's a bad one.
No, we need to know it. What's the name?
So my very first band was actually a heavy metal band, and we were called Project Nothing. So, like, as just useless and lethargic as you could get, it's just Project Nothing.
I love it.
All right.
Yeah, that was it.
So, Chris, when you got into playing music, you came from that musical family. What steered you to saying this is what I want to do for music?
I played the flute and the trumpet growing up, and I dabbled on piano, but I never took any lessons. My sisters both took lessons, and they're so good at playing. And my mom's amazing at playing, and all my aunts and grandmas. So everybody always played piano. Like, we had a big piano in our house, and so it was always getting played all the time. So I learned, like, melodically that I enjoyed making sounds that sounded good, and like scales and stuff. But I just felt like it wasn't cool. And I was embarrassed to play the flute in the school band, and I hated it. I was like, this sucks. It's not cool. I was always like,
dude, our next song is definitely gonna have a flute.
Yeah, I mean, I've yet to hear flute on a song, but now I'm kind of intrigued.
The school band was just all nerdy people, and I was like, I don't fit in with anybody here.
Hey, easy. My wife was in the band. That's all right. Everybody calls her a nerd too. So
that's a badge of honor, man. They run the country, dude. But I was like, I want to do something like cool that I identify with. And I talked to my dad, and he got me a junior acoustic guitar, and he got a guitar, and we took guitar lessons together so we could have something to do together. And then about a month or two in, he was like, I'm not doing this anymore. He stopped, and I kept going, and I really liked that. And then eventually, right after I heard that CD, Sticks and Stones, my parents got me an electric guitar that Christmas. And that was like amazing, just to sit there and jam in the basement. Same story though, Oh, there's a train going by.
Excuse the train.
That's all right.
We are right next to a train place, but
oh, are you really? All right.
You didn't know.
Couldn't tell.
And I don't know. It just kind of took off from there. Like, I also really enjoy collecting guitars, so I had a lot of guitars growing up, and understanding the differences, between mainly acoustic stuff. But yeah, I was pretty young, I'd say.
All right, so had to have led into some pretty stellar bands that you were in high school. What was the name of your first band you were ever in?
It was called Offensive Relay, and I thought we were going to take over the world because our bassist was the most popular kid at his school from a different school.
That's weird for a bassist.
Yeah, but he was the preppy jock that everyone loved.
All right.
And he was a really sweet guy. And I remember we played our first show, and I was like, this is going to be a disaster. It was the first time I ever performed in front of anybody. And it was at Springfield High School, and it was their fall talent show, or it was either a talent show or battle of bands or something like that. There was so many people playing. and we played All the Small Things.
Oh, nice.
And we played some other, like a song that we had wrote. We played like 2 songs, and there were like 400 kids there for him. And so I was like, oh my God. And like, there was like a local, like magazine that did like local music stuff. And they did like an article on us for one show. And I was like 14. And I was like, well, we're pretty much signed to a record.
This is my life now.
Yeah, this is my life now.
Listen, next thing is Diddy white parties, like that.
I was like, we're pretty much made. And then we played like some big venues in the city. So Offensive Relay. My dad still has. We had merch. We handed out business cards. My dad still wears his shirt from the band. It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Damn, don't give up on the dream, dude. You guys can still make it.
I hand drew the shirt design in my school notebook, and then I didn't know how to get it onto a computer, so I photocopied it into the computer at school, and it kept the lines from the notebook. It made like a PDF, and it had like notebook lines in it.
Listen, nostalgia and reunion shows are the thing now. Like bands are getting back together and making a shit ton of money. Like we can promote this. Like we could drop it right now and say, "Hey, Offensive Relay is coming back."
I can't believe the words "Offensive Relay" were just said on a podcast. It's so funny.
It's a great question, Shane.
All right, let's move on to something else about the current bands. We'll move on from Project Nothing and Offensive Relay, and
rest in peace.
So it may be different for either of you, but whoever wants to go first, I would say if you met someone, and I know you don't have a lot of songs released right now, but if someone were to, you met someone on the street and said, yeah, I'm in a band, and they say, well, what kind of music? We already did that genre thing. So what song of yours that you've already released would you play for them that says, here, this is who we are?
That's a great question.
It has happened to me a few times, and Blister is my go-to song. But I think I don't know.
You've always been a Blister boy.
Yeah, I'm just biased. I feel like something about that song just captures a really special energy that I feel like is hard to bottle in songs. And I'm just, really excited about it. So I try to share that one as much as I can.
Yeah, I would say for me, I feel like if you were to ask me this question a year ago, I probably, because at that time we were just sitting on 88, Blister, and Come On and Say It. And I would have probably put on the 88. But Stephen showed up with this song called Confines that just, I think it completely changed the way the band writes and plays. That I would probably say Confines, like, for nowadays, I would show
that's really cool.
Yeah. It evolved us. I think it definitely, evolved us.
Awesome. I like them both, so I'm not biased.
Yeah, and I hadn't really gotten a knack for lyrics until we did Confines either, so I'm most proud of that one too.
Yeah, as you should be. I think you nailed it, man.
Look at this. You guys rubbing each other's backs over there. This is awesome.
Rubbing.
Yeah, it's a good thing this isn't a video podcast.
It is. You didn't know I took over control of your camera. So this is all on YouTube. It's live right now.
Yeah. Straight to NBC.
So here's a personal question. Is there a moment in your life that has been surrounded by music that just stands out to you? Like, was it a concert, or was, a wedding or a funeral, or is there a moment in your life, either of you, that is just, it has its own soundtrack?
Ooh.
It's a tough one.
Soundtrack. I would say that for me, my first trip abroad by myself, and it's not a moment as it's so much as a week, but I went to Spain by myself, about a decade ago now, and maybe a little less, 2012, I think I went, and I just had my iPod with me. And like I had like a cell phone, but they don't work overseas, so it just was in my bag the whole time. That was like when you could not get international plans for like $5. They were like, you sent a text, that was $50. You know,
Yeah.
so
If you wanted to make a call from over there, they shipped you a new phone, and it was $599 a month.
Yeah.
For that.
Oh yeah. So I remember being on that trip with my iPod, and I had just loaded. Oh man, I can't think of it, but the second or third Dangerous Summer record had just come out, and I put that on there, and a couple others, some Alexis on Fire, some Anne Boleyn, and I just listened to these CDs over and over and over and over and over again while I just wandered around this country, and it was that to me was like. Oh, I sort of realized that you can create soundscapes when you're in the real world that can affect how you perceive what's happening or how you enjoy something.
Yeah, you're creating real-time music videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what you just said kind of reminded me of another trip abroad. When I went to England with my sister to visit my dad, the year that I graduated high school, I was listening to Kings of Leon's Come Around Sundown, like on repeat. And I couldn't put it down. It was just like, at the time, just the best thing that my ears had heard. And I still really love that album. But, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm obsessed with an album, it's just like, there's nothing better. Yeah. That's all I want to listen to and kind of live in for that, for as long as my ears will tolerate it. So yeah, that trip, I was there for about a week and a half. It was just specifically that Kings of Leon record. And yeah, there was just something about it that like seemed to capture how I was feeling and like where I was at in my life, as songs tend to do. But yeah, it was amazing. And then I guess quick shout out to a band that I toured with a few years back called The Millennium, from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. They're amazing. They're unfortunately disbanded, but their music still stands, and I definitely recommend it. Yeah, their first record just brings me back to being on tour, because that was like, I toured with them a couple times, so hearing them every night was really special. But I was also like, after the show, I was like, I just want to go listen to The Millennium. So I would just put my headphones in and still listen to them. They're that good. So shout out to them.
Nice shout out. And so you brought up, and it's what music does. It's that universal language, and it finds you when you need it, and it kind of fits into where it's supposed to be. And it also is, I've said it hundreds of times here, it's honestly, music is the closest thing in reality we have to a time machine. You can hear a song and you remember the smell. You can see it vividly of exactly where you were at that moment, and it just transports you there. So having that for both of you being abroad, just hearing a song like that again can bring you there. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how you put that. It's the closest thing we have to a time machine. That's very well said.
Well, thank you.
Great, Mark.
Yeah, that's dope.
All right, so we're going to bring it into the end of the world right now.
Oh boy.
World's ending, meteors hitting the earth in 5 minutes. You can only listen to one song, and you have to listen to a song. What song would you listen to? Chris, you first.
Okay, would the end of the song be when the meteor hits?
No, you have 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes. So it's like you can't do Stairway to Heaven. It's 8.5 minutes. So you're fucked. You're never going to get all the way to the end of the song.
I would say Sorrowing Man from City and Color, because the end of that, I get the end of that song is just the most chill making song of all time. Like, it just gives my whole body goes numb when I hear that song. It's incredible. Awesome. And it puts me in a peaceful place about someone's life being over.
That was awesome. I think you may be the fastest to ever answer that question.
Yeah, that's really good. I don't have a good reason for this other than it was the first thing that came to my mind. So I think I'm just going to go with my gut on Bad Sons, Outskirts of Paradise. I don't even feel like it fits thematically or anything like that. It's just, there's something about that song that kind of transports me to a different place. And if a meteor's coming, then, you know, maybe I want to get the hell out.
Yeah.
Well, see, I like how you went with your first instinct. You know, we've had several people that, you know, try to be cool about it, but it usually is whatever comes to your mind first. That's what you're going to play, because you really only have that 5 minutes, and scrolling through Spotify or playlists, I mean, you're not going to find that song.
You don't have time to think about it. So.
No, you don't. All right. So my next question for both of you is the way Rolling Stone or Us Weekly would classify it is your favorite band. I classify it as, and I move it to something better, where do either of you have a band in your life that has never let you down with their music?
Oh, shit.
I have two.
That's tough.
I have two.
Okay.
I would say they're the most like, I think I'll be 100 years old and I'll be like dying and I'll be like, can you put this CD on, please? Because it's just never gets old. But like, I would say Thrice and Jimmy Eat World are my two ride or dies, like, for life.
All right.
Jimmy Eat World especially. They like,
yeah. That's a good
I think
one.
both of them prove that, like, so many bands, they let me down because I've grown out of their sounds, whereas both of those bands grow with me. They grow themselves really well, and I think I don't think I've ever been less than absolutely fucking stoked about a release from them.
Yeah, I think I've had it's come to a point. So for me, Jimmy Eat World is, you know, I saw him play with, you know, 5 people at Skaters World in Wayne, New Jersey. Like, and my thing with them was they found their formula, and until their most recent release, I think for like 3 albums in a row, they just stuck to that one formula where I was like, all right, I needed a little more, and I finally got it on their last album.
Yeah.
Because I was all about Static Prevails. Like, when that came out, I mean, and I heard that, it was awesome. And I mean, I had the first Jimmy Eat World CD that came out that I still have when I was like, what the fuck is this? And then my buddy hands me, no, it's this band too, Static Prevails. I was like, all right, cool. And then when fucking Clarity came out, fuck my life. That is like, to me, that is the antithesis of what, if somebody says, you know, give me an emo album that will fucking blow my mind. Yeah. Here you go. Here's Jimmy Eat World's Clarity.
Name a perfect record, and then name 2 follow-up records that are even like just same level. It's like, it's insane. They did 3 like perfect records in a row. To me, I don't know too many bands that can do that.
Yeah. So that was my little diatribe on Jimmy Eat World, but love them, still own everything that they've ever put out. So
yeah. What do you got?
Yeah, my pick is going to have to be The Story So Far.
All right.
And I feel like, at least for Chris Poulsen, we've talked about this a couple times, he would definitely disagree because he's not a fan of their
Chris doesn't like anything.
Yeah, he can be.
Well, I mean, you played him some songs, Chris, and he's like, nah, fuck off. This isn't, we're not going to be a band. This isn't going to work.
Dude, we'll be at practice, and Steve and I will be gushing about a new record coming out from somebody, or that just came out, and Chris would be like, oh yeah, I heard that. It's terrible.
Yeah, everything.
We're like, it's like up for a Grammy. What are you talking about?
But we all have one of those in our group.
Yeah.
You have to understand. Every group has that guy. Yeah. I have that guy.
Totally. Yeah, we love him for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just thought it was interesting. His least favorite from them, Proper Dose, which is their latest release. So that was maybe my favorite. Yeah. So yeah, but I get it because it was a different direction. They definitely had some songs that were outliers compared to the rest of their discography, but I just feel like they can't miss. You know, everything they've done so far has just blown me away.
Awesome. I love that they took that extra step and they did veer off from a formula that is usually found by a band. And you have to commend people a lot of times for that, because that just shows growth and maturity too, that, hey, we need to step this up and we need to try something different, because, the same thing I'd said before, I'll say it again. It's when you're 18 years old, Bruce Springsteen don't mean shit to you, but when you're in your 40s like me, now I fucking get it.
Yeah. The context changes.
Yeah. So it matters, and a band can't, Blink 182 can't continue to play, all the small things when they're 60 years old on stage. Like, that's not, they've grown their sound to evolve, and that's
or even like Simple Plan singing "I'm Just a Kid" and they're all 47 years old. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. So you have to create something new and exciting, and that's awesome, because you branch out and you do that creation. So, but all right. So let's do. Is there something that since you guys genre labeled yourselves, is there something outside of your normal world that you like to listen to that someone would be very surprised that you get tons of enjoyment out of musically?
This is great.
Yeah, this is such a good question.
This is such a good question.
Damn, dude.
Tell me, Steven, so I can make fun of you.
I definitely love Katy Perry. I think she's got some fucking bangers.
Katy
like
Perry.
So many, actually.
Listen, I'll stand by you with that. I've said it before, and it's been on the show before. All I got to say is listen to her the unplugged fucking set for MTV. It's quite possibly one of the greatest fucking albums I've ever heard.
Damn. Okay, I have not heard that. I'll have to check it out.
Check it out. Her cover and doing Hackensack from Fountains of Wayne. Fuck my life.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Katy Perry dated Matt Thiessen from Relient K, and they started
wild.
a band together a long time ago, and they released a music video for it.
Allegedly.
And I remember seeing this and being like, okay, Katy Perry. I see you. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Dude, she was on Warped Tour.
Yeah.
You know that. Yeah. Yeah, she definitely had a little, punk rocker.
She rocks.
But I'm trying to think of who else.
I think you just nailed it. So now I think it's Chris's turn to get made fun of.
Mine is definitely I'm obsessed and I sing all night show tunes.
All right.
Classic old 80s show tunes.
Damn.
I do them. It drives my fiance crazy. I put it on Bluetooth speakers so loud, and she'll come home and I'll be at the top of my lungs singing Phantom of the Opera, like in like classical singing voice, not even like my real singing voice, but like old chorus voice,
But she's a huge fan of that stuff, right?
Yeah,
like
she's a huge fan of the songs. She's not a huge fan of me doing it.
Of course not.
Or like screaming, fucking Les Mis at 2 a.m.
Hey, it's one of my favorite albums, Les Mis. Also one of my favorite plays, saw it 28 times. So,
dude,
I'm with you there.
That's another huge factor in my life, and it was a changing moment. And you'll appreciate this. I was like a side player in all these high school bands. I like sang, but I was never the front man, and I didn't really have a ton of friends. And then I started getting into the musicals and plays and sort of found that I could sing higher and harder than a lot of the guys there who were all focusing on being very pretty sounding. And I've never had a pretty voice. It's just always been a little more abrasive. And I, for shits and giggles, tried out for the senior musical, and I got Valjean in Les Mis.
Wow.
And that's when I
24601.
Yeah, baby. And that's when I was like, oh, I have there's room for me to sing and sound like this, because I was like embarrassed by my voice because I didn't have this like great manly voice like all the other guys,
Yeah, that was, I got to say, I remember like in high school, we got to go see that. I took French class, and I think at the time I took French class because all the girls took French. So I was like, yeah, I'm taking French. But we watched the Les Mis, the Gerard Depardieu in French, and we had to, watch it without subtitles and read the book. But when they brought us to Broadway to see the play, that was when I was just like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is a whole new world. Like, I love music, but this is different. It was amazing.
It's enough to get made fun of by a lot of people, but those if you get it, then you're like, fuck off. This is more powerful than anything I've ever heard.
Yeah. And I mean, look at it this way. You both were scared to say what you're going to say, and we both connected on fucking Katy Perry and Les Mis. So, like, fuck the world, man.
Yeah.
Listen, offensive relay ain't taking over the world. We're taking over the world.
Yeah. So we're going to do Katy Perry covers in the style of Les Mis. That's our group.
That's fucking awesome. I'm all in.
We're definitely blowing up. That's a cash cow.
It'll be Le Perry.
Le Perry. Well, guys, I don't want to take up any more of your time. You've been here. You've been gracious guest. I really appreciate having you guys here. We're going to come into the end of the show here in a minute. So first, before we get into our final segment, which is our weekly threes, I'd love for you guys to take the opportunity right now to tell everyone, all the listeners, how to find out everything that Sleep Cycles is doing. We will also promote it for you. But right now, just take the time to tell everybody how to find all your stuff.
Yeah, we try to make it pretty easy. We are pretty much / Sleep Cycles PA on every social media platform for the most part. So you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We also have a website now, right?
We just launched a website, sleepcyclesmusic.com.
Yeah. So if that's a little more convenient, check us out there.
Yeah.
So.
And if you're hearing this before the 28th, then go pre-save our EP that's coming out. And if it's after the 28th of October, then go stream our EP that just came out.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. So, guys, we're going to move into our final segment, which is our weekly threes. It is 3 things that you're listening to right now that you would like people to check out. So who would ever like to go first? Give you that moment. It can be anything, new, old. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be fucking cool. It's just 3 things that you've listened to recently that you'd want someone else to hear.
Oh, I'm looking at my Spotify recently played because I've been jamming a lot lately. I would say 3 things I've been listening to. Well, one is no matter what, I play Glenn Hansard songs at some point of every single day of being alive. So I would tell anybody if they're looking for something to listen to, he has probably 180 songs out, 200 songs from all those different groups and albums he's done. And they're Oscar winning songs. He's literally won an Oscar for his song for putting it in a movie. So like that is a number one listen. Another one that I recently just listened to like crazy is, I'm going to mispronounce this name. Kingdom of Giants. I just started jamming them. I never heard them before, but they came on a playlist and they sound fucking heavy and awesome.
To check them out.
I know exactly who they are. Yes. Awesome. Yes.
Awesome. I just heard them for the first time this week and I was like, whoa, who is this?
Yeah.
And it was sick. And then the last one is shout out. I cannot stop listening. Shout out to my buddy Chris Lopez. His band just released an EP called it's Beach Dream, and it's 2 E's in beach, Beech Dream. They just came out with a 2-song EP like I don't know, a month ago, and I have been listening to them every single day on repeat, and it's incredible. And it's on Spotify. So those are my 3.
Awesome.
Nice. So my first recommendation would be Pet Symmetry. So that's the guy from Into It Over It.
Yep. Evan.
Yeah. They just released a new album, Future Suits. It's just awesome. Highly recommend it. For something that's kind of a little poppier, Landon Conrath is an artist that really doesn't have many songs out, but I think everything he's released so far is just fantastic. It definitely caters to my Bad Sons like style. So if you're into that at all, highly recommend it. And for something heavier, there's a band called Era, ERRA. I
just saw them at Furnace Fest.
Did you see them? Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of their newest record. It's definitely like a great, if you're looking for that metalcore itch to be scratched, I think they're doing it better than anyone else in the scene. And if you like Anthony Green I think you would love Era because he's got a very Anthony Green-esque voice for the clean vocals.
Yeah.
I should specify.
Yes, for the clean vocals.
Yeah. But overall, like they're just, they're really fucking heavy. I love the 7-string riffs they're doing. They might even have some 8-string stuff, but they contrast it beautifully with these amazingly powerful, clean choruses and sometimes verses. So highly recommend them too.
Awesome. Great threes, fellas. Now it's time for my threes of the week. First one is Blunt Bangs. They are from Athens, Georgia. The album is called Proper Smoking. If you like indies, 90s style jangle pop music, I'm telling you, go check it out. Really, really good. Next is After the Fall, a band from Albany, New York. If you want punk music in your life, the name of the album is Resignation. It's really good. And last but not least, and these are in no particular order, and this is legit, people, but there's a band called the Randy Savages. They are a pop punk band from California who write factual pop punk songs about Randy Savage's life, and they're fucking killer. So the Randy Savages, check them out if you want to have some fun and you were ever a wrestling fan or ever snapped into a Slim Jim. Check them out.
That's awesome.
Shane, have you listened to Punk Rock Factory?
No.
So I just started listening to them because of Instagram and TikTok. They do like old cartoon intro song covers, like Thundercats and like Darkwing Duck and all these things. But look up Punk Rock Factory. It's like these dudes in the UK that just do these like 45-second punk songs that are just covering old like theme songs, and it's fucking awesome.
Do you remember the old punk compilation Saturday morning cartoons where all the punk bands did Saturday morning cartoon theme songs?
Yeah. Dude, and they have a whole channel with all the videos of them playing, and they're so fucking good.
Awesome.
Like their Animaniacs cover is amazing.
Oh, I've seen them on Instagram.
Yeah. They're so good.
Yeah, I just wrote it down. I am definitely into that. Well, guys, I want to thank you again so much for being here this week. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you for being a new band for me to get into and enjoy. I really enjoyed our conversation today. This has been absolutely awesome. So thanks for coming on the show.
Us too.
Thank you so much for having us. This has been just really great to just like talk, like really dive in. Like excellent time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Damn, this is awesome.
Well, everybody out there in the world, you know what to do next. You go out, bring up whatever the fuck you listen to music on, listen to Sleep Cycles, and have a great fucking time.
I've been out of my mind. I'm wandering all the goddamn time. Even moved to a new street to give my eyes something to seek. I've been looking for for the last 300 fucking days to find Was it you again? Floating through the windstorm, looking through the night. All we all see is you again, sleeping in the stars. Was it you again? It'll take more weight to break.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions to myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band. And don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.